Greetings and welcome back to another episode of Social Media Soundbites with Katerina. Today we're going to talk about very exciting policy. Starting with the single most commonly violated policy that I've personally seen, keep modern information safe. As officers, we are under an obligation to keep people's modern, personally identifiable information. That's their name, their home address, their work address, their phone number, personal emails, personal websites, off of public web spaces unless they give us written permission. Notice I'm drawing a distinction here between a public web space that everyone can see and a private space such as a private Facebook group where you have to have a password in order to gain access. In our case, it also means redacting our baronial business meeting notes before they go into the newsletter, which is published on our website, not behind a password wall, but publicly. I think one reason this gets overlooked so often is because it is not very easy to find. You'll see it in the Seneschal Handbook under General Electronic Communications, and again further down in the same handbook, specifically talking about social networking sites, getting permission from people before we out them as geeks in this wonderful shared hobby that we all have. People have different expectations and desires for privacy. We respect that. We see it again in the Web Minister's Handbook. Get information before you put it on the website. And we see something else in the Web Minister's Handbook, the reminder that people also have a reasonable expectation of privacy for their likeness, images of themselves, specifically if it's in a portrait style or if the picture was taken, say, in a private home during a guild meeting. All of those are going to need a model release form from the SCA, leading me to my next topic, copyright rules and SCA grant of use. You're going to mostly be dealing with pictures or videos taken by SCAdians, artwork and articles created by SCA members, or photos of SCA members, and all of the forms for that stuff is in this single handbook. Pull it up, read the directions, pick out the form, fill it out. Because they are, again, going to want release forms for not only information and images, but photos and videos should be included in the sentence that they have taken, articles and artwork. I want to then shout out to the SCA Digital Scribes program. This is a series of photographers who have given a blanket grant of use allowing anyone in the society to use their pictures for our social media campaigns as long as we, again, pay attention to the rules, be courteous, be kind, and credit your photographers. I get a lot of pictures from museums and manuscripts, and while the original items themselves are so old they are not under copyright, the images of those items are. So you want to read the terms of use and follow them and link back to the source. Similarly, we have Creative Commons licenses. You see these especially in Wikipedia entries, but we're seeing it more and more across the internet, which is a form of licensing which is very generous for nonprofit use if we are not adapting the image and giving proper credit where credit is due. This is a great way to get images. So in a nutshell, we have a variety of SCA forms for whether it is one single photo or a whole series of photos. Again, photographers and videographers can do a blanket release form in perpetuity that say that, hey, any pictures I gave to the SCA can use. And if you're going outside SCA sources, read the instructions, follow the instructions. Next point, do not scoop society news. There are some specific things that need to be formalized or announced on the Kingdom newsletter or the Kingdom website or in court before they are SCA official, and those things need to be SCA official before they become social media official. And that's going to mostly affect us day to day with the initial event publication. Once it's announced in the newsletter, you can go wild on social media or on the website, the Kingdom calendar. Just go wild. And then some other things, preliminary changes to law, policy, sanctions, and baronial office changeovers. Preliminary information does not get released on social media. Last point, don't be a troll. I find it stunning that we still have these conversations, but here we are. These are the things specifically listed by the SCA as examples of troll-like behavior. Stay away from modern political campaigns and elections for or against any candidate. Avoid modern religion. And then do not make false statements, misleading information, trying to disparage, intimidate, or negatively impact the reputation. No bullying, abuse, harassment, hate speech, profanity, sexually explicit stuff. Don't break the law. Don't break SCA policies. Don't dox people. Don't threaten people. And just basically don't be a troll. Followed on the next page with some financial bans. Preliminary financial information, voting on financial information. This is not what we need to be doing in public internet spaces. Fundraising is specifically disallowed for individuals, only for official SCA branches. And then there's a blanket statement. Also, if there's group rules for the group that you're in, follow the rules just like you would anywhere else. We have a repeat of the message: bullying, harassment, hate speech, threats, bad. And here it is again in the social media handbook under the list of stuff you can specifically be sanctioned for. And we're back into breaking laws, breaking policies, threatening safety, hate speech, derogatory, abusive, sexually violent and explicit material, and doxing and all this other horrible stuff. Just don't be a troll. And that's it. There's a really short list of things that we should not say. Protect people's modern information, follow the copyright law, don't scoop the SCA on a few very specific things, and be a decent human being, honestly. And beyond that, you can really just go wild with social media. I hope that this was short enough that I did not lose your attention, thorough enough to get the point across, and not as horrifically boring as I know a slog through policy can become. I will be back another day with a more interesting and dynamic topic. But for now, see you later.